Go.
All right. Let's just roll into it because we don't have the intro song yet. We don't have any of that cool gizmo, flash, whatever. So we're just gonna roll into it. It is going live right now. So welcome everyone. It is post game. It is Monday, the 23rd of August. It's post game Sampdoria Juventus 0-0 draw tonight with us. We got Dash. So welcome, Dash. Introduce yourself a little bit.
Hey, everybody. My name is Dash. I've been a Juventus fan since I was a toddler a long time ago. I'm not going to talk about my age because who cares? But yeah, I'm here to give you guys a little bit of a high, a little bit of a separation, a disappointment from yesterday because, it's the thing about Juve sometimes. Sometimes they're super giddy and make you excited and crack a cold one with the boys like against the Sassuolo. And the other days, we might be needing some new TVs because we've been throwing some shit against them like last night. So
Yeah.
I'm here to easily transition this off so we can hype us out a little bit to Roma. We'll roast some players. We'll read some funny tweets that were shared at Turin Giants this morning. So we got a good show for you guys. We're going to talk some match reviews though. So we're going to have to get through the bitter stuff earlier on, and then we'll make it a lot more lighthearted later.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, because we do have to get down to business. That's obviously what this is about. But we are going to have fun, especially after a match like yesterday. We do have to have some fun. So please absolutely join us. We love the banter here. Let her fly in the comments. But yeah, let's get to the first point. First thing on the docket. So that is obviously the match results 0-0. I don't know how much you have to say, but let's hear what you have to say about this result.
It's a dumpster fire. Like I think there's no way. It's like, for example, you're trying to get that espresso, you accidentally spill your espresso, and then you try to pick up your cup and your espresso machine is still running, just dumping the espresso all over the place. That's literally what this game was, because let's be real. Compared to last week, I think we kind of got our back to reality. Oh, there goes the M&M mom spaghetti kind of stuff comes in there. Yeah. So it's like yeah, we got mom spaghetti all over our sweater in this one. There's going to be a lot of things. Like, for example, a lot of people are going to blame Allegri because, the sky is blue. Everyone's going to sit there and cringe and ask, how is Rabiot starting? Does he have pictures of Allegri and his mom or something like that? So there's a couple of things there. But the thing that we've noticed, and we clearly missed Di Maria. I mean, offensively, we were uninspiring. I mean, it was not a good show. I mean, you look at the formation, we were playing the U-shaped attack, V, whatever. I mean, it's like we switched sports whatsoever. Like, it looked like we were playing rugby with how our players were lined up. So
yeah, I'm going to try to actually, while you talk, I'm going to try to get that passing map up, if you will.
Oh, our U-shaped heat map, guys. We like to call this the horseshoe bend. That is the formation for Sampdoria. But the thing is a lot of people say that, hey, Allegri style, sit back, let's soak up pressure. Ironically, guys, we had more possession than Sampdoria did. We completed more passes. I'll bet they were sideways passes and backwards passes, but we still had more passes. As Pep Guardiola would say, at least we had possession. But it wasn't like, it's one of those games where it's uninspiring, because the thing is there's a lot of players that were playing out of position, in my opinion. You look at Rabiot, you look at McKennie, those guys were completely lost on the field. We started off, I believe it was a 4-4-1-1, which kind of shifted over into a hybrid 4-3-3. I believe it was after the first cooling break. But it was just an absolute dumpster fire, because the thing is like Locatelli didn't perform well at all. Again, he came in as a regista role, but like in the first 45 minutes, he only had roughly about 16 to 17 passes, which is absolutely atrocious. And if you look at Exhibit A over here, which is the passing network that our buddy Davide has pulled up here, looking at it's just, it's not good at all. So
it's a U.
It's a U.
It is a U.
It's literally a U, guys. So looks like we have a comment that says the picture of our formation is terrible. Are you saying that because of image quality, or is it something else?
Let us know, because we are trying to figure things out. It is that culture boy. He's actually, check him out on YouTube as well. He's one of our new content creators for Juventus. So yeah, let us know what is is our formation terrible, or just the picture of it?
Because it's one of those things where we can't really take it like, is it the image quality, or is it because it just sucks? Like, we gotta specify it there. Oh, He said no.
Okay,
Quality's
yeah, all right.
perfect.
He's
Cool.
trashing.
Thank you.
He's trashing the actual content of it. Yeah, not how it was.
I was honestly hoping for him to just say yes,
Yeah,
but
both.
uh, yeah. So like the funny thing is so if you look up top here, so we have Kostic that's up top, and then we have McKennie, which McKennie has no business being where he's actually marked as the position that he's playing. Like it makes legitimately no sense. You have Juan Cuadrado, which he convinces me every week that he should have been on the next flight out of Turin with every game I watch him play recently, and this was no excuse. And we'll go to the image that I sent Davide about him not passing the ball to Vlahovic there. But we also have, we have, no, you're good. We have Danilo again. That was literally behind Cuadrado, which makes sense. Again, right back, right winger. And then you have Rugani, and then Locatelli was playing next to Rugani on his positioning, which was really weird because Locatelli is supposed to be the regista, which means he's in front of the defense, not in the defense. And then Bremer again next to Locatelli, and then we have Alexander on the left. So this is one of the things that I actually wanted to touch upon on the match review, and one of the things that really made me nearly throw something at my TV is this instance here with Juan Cuadrado.
Is this the right image?
That is the right image.
That's the right one.
Yes. So if you guys look at our buddy Juan over there, so most of us have played the sport and we kind of have an idea of angles, where do you want to take a shot and when you should just, lay the ball off. So if you look at that image right there, Adorno has already taken steps out to the 6-yard box where he is literally cutting off any near post, far post. I think the image is gone, Davide.
Okay, yeah.
But
sorry, I will fix that. Again, this is new software for us, so please bear with us. But I'll get it right back up here.
But yeah, so going off of that image right there, so you see Cuadrado running in. So you have the defender already committing to try to at least slide in or to at least get something on the shot. And you see Adorno's actually stepped out to the 6-yard box, cutting off any angle. And what does our buddy Cuadrado do? He does the technique that is known by many is called the kick and pray. If it works, it works. I mean, that's just like the goal he scored against Roma. It's literally everything that we've seen him do. All of his goals, even though they're crackers, some of them are crackers, are literally just a boot and pray, and that's it.
I'm gonna try to get you another photo too. That's funny as you go on with this.
No, I got you.
Same theme, yeah.
Yeah, I got you. But like the thing is, again, he's a winger. He's technically the captain of the team. He should have the vision and the experience to understand that, hey, I have a defender that's actually just committing to me right now. I should probably pull this back, tee it off for Dusan for him to hit that. Because again, Dusan's going to have a better shot, regardless of, because he has a way better angle. He has more of the net to shoot at with either his right foot or his left foot. Where you look at Cuadrado, he has roughly about a 10-degree angle to the far post and 0 to the near post because Adorno has absolutely covered it. So what does Cuadrado do? Blasts it right at the goalkeeper. And then as Dusan looks at him and yells, hey, man, play the ball, Cuadrado then continued to justify by telling Dusan to chill out and relax. I thought I had the shot. That literally explains Juan Cuadrado in a nutshell. And that was pretty much the last time we saw him play at all during that game because he went invisible after that. Besides, I believe the one forced error. I think that was the forced error.
So, okay, this isn't what I was looking for. The one I was looking for, I'm sure it's tucked away somewhere on the internet. It was of just Vlahovic losing his mind. But, I mean, that's pretty good, too.
Yeah. that literally is it. Because, like, it's funny because when you look at that image, that's literally the same as the picture that I believe Giuseppe used in his stream last night, but it was actually with the players that were in, like, that octagon formation. Where it's like we like to call this the Juventus ring around the rosy tactic, where all of the Sampdoria players are lava, so everyone's just avoiding the Samp players in the middle. So again, that to me, you could argue, and it's debatable that you can say that, hey, coaching sucks, etc. Allegri ball this, Allegri ball that, but it's also on the players too. You have to, let's be real here, because like, how many times have we seen McKennie, especially at the start of the season, not know where he's supposed to be or where he's supposed to go? Same thing for Rabiot. Rabiot's confused 90% of the time he's on the pitch. But like even looking at that image right there, so it's like, okay, great. So we're playing, it looks like it's a 4-1-4 or 4-0-5, which makes literally no sense there.
It's almost like a 3-2, like a 3-2-4. I don't know. It doesn't. There's something wrong, obviously. Can't quite
So
make it out.
yeah, and the funny thing is like, so it doesn't really highlight it that good, guys, but Rabiot was in the middle, so I think the team was really pissed that he didn't get sent to Manchester United, so they decided to do a huge rondo mid-game where Rabiot was in the middle. So like, I think that's what they're saying on Twitter. I think Rabiot said, "Hey guys, this is not the time to do the rondo," and everyone's like, "Well, you should have signed for Man U."
Is it kind of
But
like that last year? Was it Sule, where he made an appearance and nobody passed him the ball?
oh yeah, that was Sule, and then that was what was it? That was the Coppa Italia Marley Ake, the first half. Like nobody wanted to pass him the ball, and then
Yeah.
it was just like he got subbed in a blaze of glory at halftime.
That's funny though.
But review wise, like I know people are gonna say it's a Allegri ball, but let's be real. Defensively, we actually look pretty decent outside of that one really weird chance that they had at the beginning of the game, which Bremer totally whiffed a clearance on that one, and the ball flew right by him. But
Yeah.
like, I didn't have that feeling or that like gut feeling that, oh man, Sampdoria is possibly going to score on us, because last year we were terrified of Spezia, we were terrified of all these random clubs, Benevento and all these guys scoring on us, like because we're like, you know, last year it was like, oh my goodness, when are we going to concede? We're going to concede. We're going to concede. When's it going to
Yeah.
happen?
That's a good
I
point, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had that feeling at all these last two games. Like, especially even with the Sassuolo game where I was just like, I don't see us conceding. And then like the same thing against the Samp game, which, kudos to Perrin for making that save to at least direct the ball to the crossbar. So, we didn't lose that one.
Yeah.
But after that, I mean, what, the corner that Dusan whiffed and it went out of bounds, that could have been an own goal. But like, even then, that wasn't Sampdoria really doing anything. They just kind of launched a corner kick hoping that something would happen. But like, there wasn't really like that instance where I was just like, oh crap, we're going to concede. We're going to concede. I was just sitting there just like, dude, when are we going to score and put this on ice? Like I didn't have that fear. I mean, you could say that maybe Sampdoria was just trying to play for the 0-0. Fair argument.
I think they were. It was a very conservative setup that they had.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair argument, but at the same time, I mean, everybody's asking where's the progression? I mean, look, hey, last year we weren't really that defensively solid, and then this year you're starting to see some of the things that Allegri is trying to do, because last year, let's be honest, we only attacked on one side of the field. We only attacked through Quadrado, Danilo on the right side, and that was post Chiesa injury, even pre Chiesa. But like, you never really saw that much of an attack on the left. This game yesterday, we threw it to Kostic and said, hey man, do your thing, cross the ball in from the left. Because let's be real here, last year we didn't facilitate attacks or crosses through Alexandro. Like, let's be honest, that was like, no, like but he was just like, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I would argue that a little bit though, because yes, Kostic, I mean, and it's great that we have Kostic there, and he was marked pretty well. I'll give him that as well. But there were so many times it went through the right side. It was like I felt like they were forcing it up the right sometimes, just unnecessarily. I don't know why, but it was. I wish I had that heat map handy. I mean, I'll have to pull it off after the fact, see if I can find it. But I just, correct me if I'm wrong too, but I just felt that it was coming a lot down the right.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, because the thing is like Quadrado and Danilo have that link up play that they ran a lot last year, and it's instinctively that's what they're running this year as well. But again, you look at the heat map. I mean, you had McKennie, you had Quadrado, you had Danilo, all three of them literally on one side of the pitch, which was the right side of the pitch. So it's like, I totally get it, but I also, it's interesting because we saw crosses from the left side of the field, which is something I'm not used to seeing, because even Sandro, he doesn't really cross it. He just pulls it back, does a line drive to someone in the behind him or someone in the middle, where it's a diagonal backwards pass versus like an actual pass, an incisive pass through, because again, it's predominantly on Quadrado and Danilo to send balls into the box. And outside of that missed opportunity from Quadrado, like he was anonymous, man. Like it's just like, I don't know what the game plan with him is, but like it's just for some reason everyone's just like, hey, let's just push it to him, where it's like he hasn't crossed consistently. Like, when you look at the Sassuolo game and the Samp game where where we switched the roles between him and Di Maria, like Di Maria was a lot more threatening on that right side than Juan. Because like with Juan, I feel like teams that already know what you're going to get with Quadrado. It's just like, okay, cool. He's going to try to do something, move wide out, and then pass the ball backwards. Like you never really see Quadrado make an incisive pass in the middle anymore. It's just like, the second we lost Di Maria, it's like we went back to last year's Juve in a sense, where we're like, we showed a little bit of variety by going off to the left, but like it's just the thing that killed me last year, and a lot of people as well, is like literally all we would do is attack through one side of the field, and then that's it. It would just be a hope and pray to Dusan, and inshallah it goes in. Like that's literally the game plan for it. And it showed again in the Sampdoria game. I was a little bit disappointed in McKennie because this is the second start of the season in a row that McKennie is just absolutely clueless and has no idea what's going on. I don't know, like, is he seeing Pulisic's sister again? Like, I mean, I know we're in the northern hemisphere, but like apparently that's what messed him up last year, because him and Pulisic beefed about that. But hey, I don't know, man. I don't follow the guy on social media, so Big West, man, you got to get your stuff together if it's her again. But go ahead.
So yeah, that is kind of the next question though, right? Is it the tactics, or is it individuals or a group of individuals, like collectively, that is causing this? Because we saw, I mean, same team essentially, but now no Di Maria, and I guess our midfield, we have a Rabiot now as well. So yeah, but what is the problem? Because we seem to have completely reverted to last year, because we are using the exact same players as last year. So is it actually the players? Because we put a lot of blame, I think, towards Allegri. So I don't know. What do you think?
I do. I think it's unjustified. I mean, again, you do throw a little bit at the coach, because again, my issue is he waited too long to make the subs. But overall, so Pep Guardiola actually says this in his All or Nothing special with Man City in 2017, Amazon Prime. Shameless plug there if you guys want to watch it. But
Yeah.
He says this. He's like, I cannot teach you how to play the game. That is not my job. It is my job to put you in the best position to win, and then you need to make a play. So like the thing is with Allegri, and Allegri is very tactical. He likes to understand how other teams play. He's a very tactical coach, whether we want to admit it or not. So Allegri, again, is trying to put his players in the best position for them to win, but you also, as a player on the field, you have to make a play. Because that's the thing. Like that's what separates. So like, for example, you take Ronaldo and you compare him to Caputo, which is Sampdoria striker.
Yeah.
Not saying stats or anything like that, guys, but like, for example, what's the one thing that stands out about Ronaldo? He can make a play. Same thing about Messi. Same thing about Neymar. Same thing about Mbappe. Same thing.
Di Maria.
Even Di Maria. And that shows it, because like the thing is, again, the goal that Di Maria scored against Sassuolo, beauty. He made it happen out of nothing. He made a play. Ball's coming in. Let me take the shot. And that's one of the things that I also criticize Vlahovic a little bit on. Not entirely. I'm not going to go at him and say that he's a terrible striker, he's a wash, 80 million in the garbage, etc. But like the thing is that's where I think that's keeping Dusan from that top tier. Like, for example, Chiesa has it. I don't think I've seen it from Dusan with us yet. He might have shown it with Fiorentina, but again, with us, different stage, man. Different pressure, different schedule, different way that you're playing an amount of games. So like...
It's just he's so marked, though. Does he even have the chance to do it?
But that's the thing. That's where you as a player need to understand, okay, cool. So what I am doing right now, I have two center backs on me. That means I need to figure out, okay, cool. My team is playing in this direction. I might need to adjust my play style. That's my thing that I'm a little bit afraid with Vlahovic, is because the thing is at Fiorentina, yes, he's being touted. Yes, people were watching him. Yes, people were scouting him. I understand that. But at Juventus, when you go up to that Juventus, you're going up a tier. You're everywhere. You're not just, in Florence and, people in Serie A are going to be scouting and figuring out ways how to stop you. No, you've got, for example, if we're playing Real Madrid, if we're playing Bayern Munich, if we're playing PSG, because Juve is in that audience, Juve is in that dance room with them. They're looking at them. How do I stop this guy? How do I do this? Because the thing is that's what separates you from the best. Because Chiesa figured that out really quickly in the Euros, because when he was playing in the Euros, he's playing, again, national team caliber players, the best of the best. So Chiesa's like, okay, cool. There's going to be games where I need to make a play. Perfect example. Austria comes in, amazing shot. Literally happened out of nowhere. Took it in, took the cross in, dropped it down, cut into the left, scored. That was incredible. Same thing with the game against Spain. It looked like Immobile was going to lose the ball because he's too slow and is an absolute wash of a striker, but Chiesa comes in, tidily takes it and scores. England, even though it was this off the post, the fact that he was able to take the ball from midfield, drive up, cut to the left, and shoot, and make Pickford literally almost crap himself. Like that's the thing. Like, and that's what Juve lacks, because Dybala used to have that, but I don't think Dybala has it anymore. And I've watched him play with Roma. He doesn't have it. It's gone. Like, we have to be honest. The thing is like, even with those old Juve teams that we won the 9 Scudetti in a row, we had players that were willing to make a play. Whether it be, even if they weren't like your world-class players, they didn't have to be a world-class players. They just need a player that's going to sit there and be like, okay, cool. These are going to be my 5 minutes to shine. Nobody has that initiative on this team. Because back then it was your Buffons, it was your Chiellini's, your Barzagli's, it was, yes, even Bonucci back then. But like, you had players, those were your stable guys. You had Dybala willing to make plays back then. You had Higuain willing to make plays to create something out of nothing back then. Evra, you had Dani Alves. Like, those players, there's players that you need to bring in, and you need players to utilize that can sit there and be like, okay, cool, I'm going to do something here.
They have character. That's kind of the big difference. They have character, and I alluded to that last week, where that's essentially what we needed. We don't necessarily need the top tier players to show up for a match like Sampdoria, but we do need players that have the grinta, that will just go out and make that pass or make that shot, what have you. We just didn't get either one, it seems, last night.
Yeah, none of them showed up. The only ones that showed up were the substitutes, Miretti and Rovella. Those guys came in and said, hey, I'm going to try to create something. Keane, you can give Keane credit because he tried creating that assist that almost went in. I'll give him that. But Keane always plays like he's just always angry at someone. I don't know why.
He lacks a bit of discipline, composure, I suppose. It's not that he's necessarily a bad player. He just...
Yes.
He misses that final little flair, or that touch, or that composure right at the end.
Yeah,
and you saw that in that header too, where he kind of jumped backwards for the header instead of letting it go through to Bremer.
Yeah, and that's the thing where it's like, that kind of gets me with Moise Keane too. Is like, he has it, like he has it. I think he just doesn't know how to bring it out. It's not like Mario Balotelli, where like, I'm torching my bathroom on fire because I feel like it, or like the why always me, or the stupid back heel. Like, I honestly think every time that Keane steps on the field, you ever look at his face, he just looks like he's gonna crap himself. Like, literally every single time. Because like, even this game when he subbed on, I'm like, this kid looks jaded. Like, it's almost like those young English players that took the PKs for the Euros.
Oh, yeah. Like, they look defeated. Well, they were defeated, I guess.
Yeah, but like, I mean, they're looking at it like, I'm playing, I'm on the field, and that's the thing where it's like, that's what's separating Keane from being a good player, because I think he excelled at PSG because nobody really cared about him at PSG. We're gonna be honest, because like, he's there, he's fodder. He was cannon fodder for your Nantes, your Rennes, your teams that aren't gonna make remotely the top 10 in France. So those are the guys that are part-time farmers on the side. Those were the defenses he was facing. Scored 10, I believe it was like 10 league goals, up to, I think he had 20, something like that in all
competitions. Yeah, he had a decent amount. I don't know the exact stats, but it was up there.
Yeah, he played really well. But again, that goes into the argument that we've been having in this stream, is like, nobody's willing to grab the bull by the horns. And like, everyone can say that, okay, like, deuce on this or that, etc., blah blah blah. It's just like, everybody there, it's like the same issue of when we just lost Ronaldo. And I honestly, it's just this weird team vibe ever since we got Ronaldo, and ever since he left, is just like, nobody's willing to make a play anymore. Like, you don't see any of those plays that you just want to get excited and jump out of your seat for. Like, the only time I've really gotten like, oh my God, this is incredible, is Di Maria last week. Like, I was like sitting there, I'm like, oh, this is so cool.
It was really cool to watch.
Like, yeah, I like finally felt something that I haven't felt in a long time. Like, I think the last time I felt something like this was like the partner. It was before we got Ronaldo. It was literally the Madrid game that we came back from 3-0 down in the second leg, where everybody balled out. You had Douglas Costa make an amazing cross. Mandzukic comes out of nowhere to head the ball into the net. You have even Blaise Matuidi that scored the third goal that tied it. I mean, yeah, we got robbed in the end, but like, it was just one of those things where it's just like, everybody was making plays back then. Everyone was willing to put something for the team, where it's like, you just don't see that anymore. Like, Rabiot's not going to do anything special. He doesn't care. He's here just to get a check, and I'm out of here. He's already thinking of his next destination in the next 12 months.
And that was my saving grace. Is he going to show up, play maybe for some money, contract, what have you? And other than that recalled goal there, the offside, not even his offside, it was Vlahovic.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wanted that goal to count so bad just to kind of prove me and basically everyone else wrong. I wanted to be proven wrong. And like, I was like, thank you for proving me wrong. And then a few seconds later, of course. But that being said, like, do we just give up on these guys, cut our losses, whatever? We got to pay these guys however million a year. And do we just play Rovella? Do we put Rovella in that Regista role, let's say, and let Locatelli unleash for more forward up? Moretti, French. I mean, we don't really know. We don't know who's staying, but we saw there towards the end of the game, these young guys come on, and the game did change. So is that what we do going forward? Is we just gamble on the young guys and say, Rabiot, you can take your $7 million and sit on the bench over there?
Yeah, I think honestly, this is going to be something that Allegri is going to have to sit and just be like, okay, I need to trust these youngsters. Because that's the thing, too, where it's like, I think Fagioli is going to be the one that's leaving because he didn't come in at all. And apparently Romeo Grassi is saying that his bag is packed, which I'm fine with because Rovella and Moretti have the most experience. Fagioli, no offense to him, but you played at Cremonese in Serie B. Like, that's it, dude. From the preseason, I thought he was slow. I thought he was the worst out of the three. So for me, I'm indifferent about it. Doesn't matter to me. I think Fagioli needs more experience and more playing time at the top tier before he comes back. But like, Ravella's had at least about roughly around 2 years of experience. Yeah. I think Allegri likes him because Allegri stopped his move to Monza.
And he does have the most experience of the three. Yeah, he played for a relegation team, but he still played in Serie A.
Yeah.
So,
and he was doing really well before his injury. Yeah. The one thing, though, that makes me a little bit, interested or unique about this is that he put on Moretti with more than 5 minutes left in the game.
He doesn't typically do that.
And we can laugh about it, but at the same time, it kind of makes you sit there and you're just like, I think that there's something here because I could be wrong because Allegri played an 18-year-old Bentancur, and we all know how that turned out. But the thing is like, you don't really see Allegri play those youngsters. The only time Allegri played a youngster was even back in his Milan days, where Stefan El Shaarawy and DeCilio, back when he was actually touted to be like the next Maldini, because he was actually playing really well as a fullback. But like, you don't really see those youngsters get those big breaks, especially this early in the season. I did not expect Moretti to come on with, I believe he came on 80th minute, something like that. But he came on and played a quite amount that game. I mean, he made some mistakes, but again, he's not even 19 years old. I mean, he's still a kid. So the one thing I was seeing in some of the comments in some videos where people are like, oh, why is Allegri bashing him? I'm like, Allegri complimented him and said, okay, but he needs to work on this. He sounds like a parent. Like, I mean, what does everybody want at that point? But
he could be his parent. The age gap is very appropriate for
that. Is actually very true, because everyone, I was reading some forums and everyone's like, oh my God, what did Moretti do? I'm like, oh, that's easy. He has pictures of Rabiot's mom and Allegri making out. So, he's like, hey, I'll post this out to the internet if you don't play me. And then boom, that's how we got Moretti. He played the DeCilio card.
The conspiracy. Yeah, is that what DeCilio has as well?
He's got
photos.
He apparently got some photos of Cherubini, so that's why he got a contract renewal.
Oh man. But no, no, seriousness though, it is exciting, and that is probably my biggest takeaway of the past two games, is the fact that we are seeing these young guys. We've been yelling for them, and considering how much we have been yelling for these guys, they're getting minutes now. Why would we say anything against it? Especially when this past match, everything was completely flat and they showed up and actually did something. Just be happy. Yes, it was a boring game. The result was lackluster, but we have to also look at these positives. What are the things we can improve on, the things that did work out that we can continue forward with. And Moretti, I think, is definitely one of those key points going forward. Like we have to give this guy some more minutes just to see. And if we're wrong, at least now we know that we're wrong, but let this kid play.
Yeah, and a game against Sampdoria is going to be one of those games that you're going to be able to do it, because let's be real, Sampdoria maybe 15, 16, 17th place, roughly around that point. They might be there because they didn't bring anyone in. They lost more players than they brought in. Yeah, we can be like, oh, well, we should have won and blah, 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 blah. Guys, Liverpool hasn't won a game this year, and they just lost to a crappy Man United team 2-1. Liverpool has 0 wins right now. So, like... Everyone's, losing their mind on us right now, where it's like, hey, one, we have more points than what we did last year in 2 games, which, that's an improvement in itself. But also you look at your other teams too. Like Liverpool isn't starting off that hot. Arsenal is randomly starting off incredibly well. Tottenham is Tottenham. So they start off good and then they suck after.
Yeah,
so
we'll see. But who knows? I mean,
yeah. but the thing is, the idea that I want to try to sell here is like, we can't sit here and like, okay, Sampdoria, oh my God, we're still shit, blah, 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 this, we suck, we can't do anything, we're still playing crap, yada, 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 yada. Like, okay, I get that idea. I do. I honestly get that idea. But there is a but here. There's 36 games more, plus Coppa Italia. There are more games. Also, we have the Champions League group stages as well. Before we start going on the Allegri out train, or we suck, or the Elkin group don't care about Juventus whatsoever, let's just wait until November, or the end of the World Cup, start of January, because that's technically the midpoint of the season is the World Cup break, because we're going to get a lot of fixture lists, which is good for us because we get soccer every 3 days, or football every 3 days. I accidentally said... Go ahead.
No, you're going to see a lot of us, essentially, is what we're saying.
You're going to see a lot of us. No, it's funny because I actually saw this one meme, because apparently the US dollar overtook the euro. So people are saying it's called soccer now, not football. So that's kind of funny.
That's a British term anyway.
I know.
I'm so tired of that argument.
It's hilarious. But the thing is, again, so like, once we start getting some stuff in, once we start getting more games under our belt, then we can sit there and be like, okay, cool, this needs to get fixed and changed, or this needs to get dumped, because Allegri, the board, everybody's on watch this season. No one's going to get sacked midway. That's absolutely stupid, because then who are you going to replace him with? You're going to throw in Landucci as an interim head coach? Like, I mean, that's the only thing you're going to do. And the one thing I also want you guys, the viewers, to kind of sit there and explore: who would we replace him with?
That's kind of the big question, especially mid-season. Like, who?
Exactly, because like, see, that's that thing where like you're sitting there and you're like, who do I throw in there? Because I'm going to take out some names that I heard when I was talking to some folks. So we have Italiano, which is Fiorentina's head coach. He coached, I believe he coached Spezia to...
I believe that's right, yeah.
He coached Spezia before Fiorentina, brought him into Serie A, coached them for about a season. They played entertaining. They play all attacking. Brought in Fiorentina. They finished 7th last year, the Conference League places. So you want to take... And it's funny because these are the same people that argue and say Pirlo's bad. I'm glad Pirlo's gone. So they want to take kind of an inexperienced head coach, and he does have more experience than Pirlo. I get it, but like, you want to take this guy who hasn't really proven per se, and you want him to take over Juventus, especially next season. Like, for me, yeah. And then the same thing, exactly. So, and the other thing too is another name that I've heard is Ivan Juric. Great coach. I like Ivan Juric. Yeah. Took that Hellas Verona, made them really competitive, and a pain in the butt. I hated playing Verona whenever he was their coach because we could never win in Verona. He took Torino. Again, Torino, relegation side. Took him into, I believe, roughly around the top 10. Great. I want to see him take a Sassuolo or an Atalanta and push them into the top 4 before I feel comfortable giving him the keys to Juventus.
And that really is the thing, too, is like, just because, and we're seeing that even with players, right? Just because they got to a certain level on this team doesn't mean on our team, for multiple different reasons, it's going to work out. Same with the manager, even more so, I would say, with the manager coach, because now you're looking at that social aspect, the psychological aspect, right? It's not just straight football. You have to get into these guys' heads. And I mean, there's countless examples out there of very personable coaches that can... They win the locker room over, and maybe not just look at Milan, for instance, last year. Let's use that as an example, right? They won the Scudetto. The roster not the best. Very well managed. But does that mean that manager or whichever manager can slot into Juventus with guys like Rabiot and his mother, for instance, is that going to work out? Because you have just a completely different dynamic of personalities. And that's a game changer in itself. I don't know how many people have maybe just changed their job or went to a different section of their job, different office, what have you, and it's completely different because the way the manager works, and it could be the best place to work or it could be the absolute worst, and you just need to leave the place, and it's because of that one guy calling the shots.
Exactly.
So, yeah, you never know.
Yeah, and the thing is again, coaching a mid-table relegation side, players, they're not those players that win anything like that. So you bring in a coach that, mid-level coach that hasn't won anything in his playing career, they'll still listen to him. Imagine bringing in a coach that hasn't accomplished anything and you throw him in a good team. I wonder if you guys are catching this example. His name is Maurizio Sarri. You take a Sarri and you put him in Juventus.
That's actually, yeah, I was thinking.
Players within 6 months did not like him and wanted him out. You could read between the lines with the interviews of Chiellini and Bonucci, how they were saying that he is making us do really weird things. It makes no sense. His office hours are weird. This is weird, etc. Everything is odd. And by the end of the season, I think the only player that liked him was Dybala. That's it.
There you go. I found the photo, so sorry. I'm going to just share this as you continue.
But and that literally explains everything you need to know. Because the thing is coaching a top tier, that's actually it right there.
just to revert back to the beginning.
I just honestly, I did the same gut reaction because when I play as a striker, so I literally jumped off from my couch and I'm like right here. That's honestly how I felt. Like even in a pickup game, I think anyone that plays a pickup game where you see the one dude that's like, hey, I'm a former D1 college athlete. Watch me dribble the ball and absolutely lose it when you could just pass it off to the side. Yeah, that's how all of us feel. That right there is like a mood. That's us at the end of the game too. Yeah. But going back on the topic of coaches, like when you go to a top tier team, it's a different ball game, man. Those players, like you have to really have that personality to command the locker room because some of those players are more decorated than you are and you will ever be. And to get their respect is going to be one tough cookie to do. The reason, and it only worked a couple of times. Like I think the only times are Pep and Zidane, because the thing is like Pep did win Champions Leagues with Barcelona. Barcelona legend, knows the organization very well, and everyone was able to buy into his system because he was also coaching wise. He believed in the same philosophy as Johan Cruyff, and I believe his name was Frank Rijkaard. That was the previous coach of Barcelona before Pep took over. Bought into it. He went to Bayern Munich. Players didn't really buy into his philosophy at Bayern as much as they did at Barcelona. You could tell. I mean, some of those players are just kind of like, whatever. Manchester City, they bought in. It's simple because, again, Pep technically outranked all of those players as far as accomplishments go. But Zidane as well. I mean, Zidane is one of the most decorated players in history. Champions Leagues, World Cup, Euros, went to Madrid. He was the one essentially that tamed Ronaldo and told him to play as a striker. That essentially revitalized Ronaldo's career and turned him into Mr. Champions League. But like the thing is, and this is my big asterisk on Zidane, and I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but he's never coached anywhere else. He never will coach anywhere else. Maybe France.
No, and that is the thing. Like he's got no CV when it comes to coaching. Yeah,
that to me, like I get. So he trained under Ancelotti. He was, the Castilla team. He trained the under 23s, etc. Like he went through the whole process. I'm not saying he was a Pirlo. He like just got signed and then boom, you're getting promoted. No, not at all. But the one thing that I always found peculiar about Zinedine Zidane is that he'll only coach Madrid. He gets linked everywhere else, but some reason, like even though they're close to an agreement, the deal magically falls through. I always found that very peculiar. Apparently now the excuse is that he's waiting for Deschamps to finish at France and he's going to coach the national team. Okay, cool. I mean, maybe you could say that he had Champions League fatigue, won 3 Champions League in a row, 3 World Cup Club World Cups in a row, won the La Liga, blah, blah, blah. But like you saw how he was when he returned back to Real Madrid. Hey, we got Giuseppe in the chat.
Oh, hey,
Grande
buddy.
Giuseppe, thank you so much.
Yeah, he's about to start his stream. He's probably telling us to
Yeah,
shut up a bit here and move on with it. But
but
as you talk about Zizou here, I'm gonna show some of our merch if just on the screen here because we do have a Zidane shirt from Turin Giants. If you guys are interested, TurinGiants.com, $24, $23.99 if you will. Very nice designs. Check out the website. You can see different colors. Mine, because shipping from the States to Canada is horrendous. I still don't have mine, but I do have some swag coming in. I'll be wearing it soon. But yeah, sorry, Dash. Just
no,
little
we're
break.
good. But yeah, it just that was one of the things because like even when he came back to Madrid the second time, Zidane didn't look like he had that cutting edge. I don't want to sit here and say he was a one-trick pony because of the squad that he had, but like again, you look at that squad. Ancelotti came from Everton and won the Champions League the next year with that squad. I don't like using and the thing is when I'm discussing things with folks, I don't like using Real Madrid as a comparison factor for coaching and like, oh, this coach is good because blah blah blah. What he accomplished with Real Madrid? That organization, Real Madrid, is the gold standard of any professional sports organization, whether it be baseball, whether it be football, whether it be American football, anything like that. They are the best operated franchise. Why? Because they have been kicking butt since 1930, winning your European titles up the wazoo, league titles. I mean, they make the New York Yankees look like a joke, which how they're run. Because like the thing is like think about it. Someone was saying that Real Madrid, etc. Like Allegri being linked with Real Madrid and Ancelotti this, and I was listening to some banter, and I was like, you realize that Real Madrid literally has an A team and a B team that they could field. You have, yeah, that's the G Just Juve shirt. The Mercato is crazy, everybody.
Just because he's in here right now supporting us, he's a great guy. He does show us a lot of support. So if you want a bit of Turin Giants, Giuseppe crossover here, G Just Juve. I mean, this is the shirt. He wears it on his stream as well. Awesome designs by one of our own guys. So yeah, I mean, support both of us in this case, really, if you will.
But losing my train of, but again, like you look at it, oh cool, he liked it, nice.
Yeah, buddy.
But think about it, guys. Like we look at it back then, and it's like Madrid has an A and a B team. Like you could replace their midfielders, like for example, Modric, Cruz, and Casemiro. Casemiro is leaving, unfortunately for them. But you guys, guess who their backups are? Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and Valverde.
I wouldn't even say they have a B team. They have like an A- team.
Yeah, it's like a 1A and a 1A- team. And then it's like even their front line, it's like it's insane. So like we can't, dude. Like there's no way we can compare us to them. Those guys, the way that they're structured, we're almost like the Real Madrid of Italy with Exor, because Exor is the most wealthiest holding company in Italy. But the thing is, and I like it because Giuseppe said it last night in his stream, Exor doesn't want to just spam money into the club. Exor says, hey, we'll give you this capital investment to help with the COVID issues that happened, because COVID was unforeseeable. It wasn't bad club management. The thing that was bad club management was the Paratici years, where you brought in these players on these high wages when you started giving out these stupid contracts, which you understand it makes sense because we were trying to globalize the brand, because we bought Ronaldo. So Ronaldo at 30 million, a lot of players are going to be asking for outrageous salaries. I remember when we first signed Ronaldo, Dybala said, I want my extension to be 20 million a season. And I laughed in his face when I heard that. Yeah. 20 million a season in Juventus hospital bills. But you have that. And the thing is Exor isn't like the Qatari sports organization for PSG. They're not like, hey, here you go, take this, blah, blah, blah. They said, hey, John Elkin was like, hey, we'll help you with Vlahovic. We'll give you that because we need to kind of get the club. We need to change the direction of the club. So we'll chip in here. But you're on your own. We want you to be self-sustainable.
Yeah.
So that's like, again, like that's what differentiates us from, like, for example, Real Madrid or these other clubs, or like, for example, Manchester City, even Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool is just dropping 60, 70 million on players like crazy. And look how their season started off pretty crappy. So the other thing too, you have the Glazers with Man United spending a crap ton of money. Yeah, I think Ten Hag deserves time. I'm not going to sit there and bury him, but they're not hot. I mean,
they have had a their first couple games were very disgusting. Let's be honest there. Not what we expected.
Yeah, and the thing is for me, and I'm gonna say this until the season ends, and I'll even say until the Mercato ends. Get Allegri what he needs. If he doesn't compete for the title at the end of the season, you pack his bags and you bid him adieu.
All right, so quickly then, because I want to get into the fun stuff here and not to get into the other time slots with our friends out there. But is Paredes, is he what we need in the midfield? That Regista rule, yes or no?
For right now, yes, because there isn't another Regista out there that we can sit there and like really go after. He's available. He's agreed. We might have to pay a little bit for him, but depending on how the finance is structured, like for example, if it's a buy with or a loan with an obligation or a loan with an option, I'm okay with that, especially if it's a loan with an option, because if it's a season-long loan with an option to buy, if we bring him in, he flops and Allegri flops with him, they're out the door. See you later, guys.
Yeah, I mean, if it's friendly, if it's financially friendly, and I mean, obviously without moving Rabiot or Arthur in this case, I mean, you need it to be friendly if you're going to get it.
I would sell McKennie. To be honest with you, I know that's going to drive people insane, but like the thing is like, guys, let's think about this. Pogba comes back. Where's McKennie going to play?
In Pogba's position when he gets injured again. Let's hope not, obviously.
I will give you that one. I will give you that one. But like the thing is like let's go into the Allegri 4-3-3. Just I'll touch on this lightly before we go into the fun stuff. But so Allegri plays a 4-3-3. It's a 4-3-3 wide. So your midfielders are wide. So how it works is you have the Regista in the middle and you have two mezzalas. So then what the mezzalas are supposed to do is they're supposed to go in between the channels and create either space or take a guy on and beat him, which then essentially messes up their entire midfield and forces their wingers, because the idea is you have to have two playmaking mezzalas in the middle, where then you drag in the fullbacks and you drag in the midfielders to try to close the space down, which then opens up your wide spaces. So what the Regista's job to do is to be able to dictate, okay, I'm going to send it on the right side, I'm going to send it on the left side, I'm going to send it to the striker, I'm going to send it here, which Locatelli didn't do at all against Sampdoria. But a good Regista, someone that's played it before, Ravella tried doing it during the game, but we were already far gone. It was at that point. And
even with Moretti, sorry, just to throw it was with Moretti as well. They were linking passes just to exemplify that, like those two young guys.
And that's what Barcelona or Real Madrid, Barcelona, a lot of these experienced 4-3-3 teams do. Pep's team, Klopp's team, they all do that, where you have your main guy that's your ball dictator that does it. Everyone's saying that Allegri is playing these dinosaur tactics, but the 4-3-3 he's trying to set up isn't a dinosaur tactic. Like back then when we were using it consistently, Giuseppe, I'm trying to keep a straight face, but he's like, how many bottles did I drink? 0, Giuseppe. I am a professional here. I am trying to keep it. I mean, I look like I'm red because it's not the alcohol. It's just I'm super blushed. Yeah, I'm just super excited that you're here.
You don't drink at all, though. I think
I don't.
Despite the background,
I know. Despite the background, I'm more of a collector, not a drinker. My family does own a restaurant, so we do have a couple of the bottles that we showcase there. So it's not per se. It's more show for style than it is for drinking. Once I get some more Juve merch, I'll probably swap it out. But I kind of wanted to have that be my calling card.
Yeah.
Dash the non-alcoholic alcoholic. Yeah. But going back to Allegri's 4-3-3, so like the last time it was implemented really well was against the 2017-2018 season before Ronaldo came in, which when we actually saw it executed at its fullest, because you had your Regista and Pjanic that played in the middle. You had Matuidi, that was a mezzala that covered space or won the ball, and then you had the one on the right. I'm drawing a blank. It wasn't Marquisio. It wasn't Marquisio. It was it was Khedira.
Yeah, that's the one. So or Chan once in a while too, if I remember correctly.
Or so like Khedira was essentially in theory the one that the one that was there, because again Khedira could pass, could shoot, could make a play. Matuidi again was like a heat-seeking missile. Like he would come in and just pop the ball out of anywhere. So you had those three work, and then on the wings you had Douglas Costa, you had Mario Mandzukic, and you had Gonzalo Higuain, or like for example Dybala would feature into it as well. So you would see it essentially. It's a modern style. You don't just go to the Bernabeu and beat a prime Real Madrid 3-1 playing dinosaur tactics. We came at them, and we came at them hard. Same thing with the 4-3-3 that Allegri employed against the Atletico game. So like he didn't just, again, it's not dinosaur tactics. Like, yeah, everyone looks at an Italian coach and it's like, oh, they're tactically organized. It's not that there's a dinosaur tactic. You want to look at a dinosaur tactic, look at Antonio Conte's 3-5-2. That is the definition of dinosaur tactics. Sit back, pass the ball to either Lukaku or Harry Kane and hope it works.
But it does, unfortunately, and that's where we get hung up on it.
I do. It does. But the thing is when you look at a higher tier team in Europe, it doesn't work, because the thing is like, so for example, let's take Tottenham and Liverpool. Let's compare these two last year, not this season. So you have Sadio Mane, you have Firmino, and you have Salah. So when you play a 3-5-2, if the opposing team's wingers are fast or skilled, you're isolating your center backs. You're essentially creating 1v1 ISOs with your 3 wingers and your 3 center backs, which then opens you up to a world of hurt if your defenders can't compensate. Look at Inter not last year, but the previous year with Conte in the Champions League. Both times, they got absolutely demolished by teams that could beat them on the ISO, that could beat those center backs on the ISO. And that's
a really good point. Yeah, because when that competition gets up there,
because the thing is again, the 4-3-3 is the 3-5-2 killer. A 4-3-3 destroys a 3-5-2 every single day of the week, unless you're playing, a team with talent that's levels below you.
Or if you pass in a U the whole game.
Yeah, or if you pass in a ours was a U5-2. But but again, it's just like, if you do that, it's game over for you. Like, I mean, Conte, that's why Conte has never done anything outside of Europe. I mean, he had that shot in the Europa League, bottled it against Sevilla. But again, his style with Inter was, hey, let's sit back. Okay, cool. We won the ball. Is Lukaku open? Pass the ball to Lukaku. Lukaku be the meat shield, and then pass it over to one of Lautaro or Perisic. Look at how he's doing it at Tottenham as well. And it's one of those things where I'm like, this dude is a one-trick pony. Like, yeah, it works because, you're playing against lesser teams, but that's why he never amounts to anything outside of the league, because, again, there's no pressure. I mean, you're playing against lower teams, and most of the time those other top teams drop points, which is where Conte excels in the league for. But you look at it, it's the same thing with Tottenham. Oh, hey, we won the ball. Pass it to Harry Kane. Cool. Is Son open? Great. Pass it to Son. Or is Kulu open? Great. Pass it to Kulu. Because Kulu's the same player he was with us last year. Slow, one-trick pony with his left foot, doesn't have a weak foot, can't really beat a guy on the dribble. Only difference is Premier League, there's a lot more space. People aren't tactically organized whatsoever in the Prem, because let's face it, guys. Premier League teams can't defend. Champions League final. Trent Alexander-Arnold was looking at stars while Vinicius was behind him.
He was nowhere. Like his head was nowhere.
Exactly. Same thing with Real Madrid versus Man City. The guy that a lot of Juventini were like, oh, I can't believe we sold Joe Cancelo. Well, hey, Joe Cancelo is the reason why Manchester City is not playing in the Champions League final last year. So both of those goals came off of his side. The cross from Carvajal. Carvajal beat him not once, twice.
And just to put some more flanking in from the right, not doing any work. Was Dumfries this weekend didn't make the pass, and now we have Cuadrado. I know he was playing on the wing, but I mean, he's more of a defensive. I don't even know what to call Cuadrado, but regardless,
he's just there. At this point, he's just there.
Yeah. Regardless, this weekend, 2 right backs, if you will, didn't make the final pass. Last year in Champions League, couple right backs failed to defend, and here we are with no fullbacks essentially. So, just to put it on a bit of a light note there.
So I wonder if you want to go into the fun stuff.
Yeah, let's do it. And I do love tactics. I know it's not for everyone, so I don't want to drag on the whole tactics and formations. That's something I like to do when I'm like in FIFA and trying to set up my team. Which, by the way, guys, and I've been horrible. You gotta like and subscribe. I mean, that's part of the thing we got to do. Please like and subscribe. But also the Discord. I got all those details down below. What I want to start doing with the Discord, once we have more people, more time, and get things organized, is we want to do the FIFA tournaments. You can stream right out of Discord, even if you just want to come in and, hey, I'm going to play a match or two by myself. I'm just going to stream. And, man, we can check out your team, your formation, what have you. And at the end of the month, FIFA 23 is coming out. Cross-platform, Xbox, PlayStation, PC, doesn't matter. We can all get in there and play. So please join. Also just a great place to banter and chat. Link up with other channels, the official UVFC channel, and just it explodes from there. That Calcio Boy, he's in the chat right now. He's part of that group of creators as well. So please check that out, like and subscribe. But that being said, let's move into a bit of the fun aspect here. Our main man Farhad, the guy that started Turn Giants back in 2013 in the podcast format. If you go to @Juve Podcast, you can check him out there. But he asked the question today, replying with something that's more exciting than watching Allegri ball. Best replies will be read on the YouTube Live. So we have a few of them here that are pretty good. That being said, Dash, do you have a few favorites that you got? You had a couple that really got you going.
Yeah. Gosh, let me. You go ahead and read yours.
Okay.
I'll pull mine up.
For one, I'm gonna just call out Joseph Carbello, Joey C. We go back a few months, anyways. We always like to banter. So he's actually said. So I'm gonna take this as a compliment. He'd rather listen to me for an hour talk about Allegri than actually watch Allegri. So thank you, Joey C, for that one. He's always good for a laugh. That digs at me.
So I got one here. So this one goes out to Twitter handle Drunk Filmmaker. He says, I would rather watch Allegri dance than Allegri ball, referencing Massimiliano Allegri's appearance on Dancing with the Stars Italy.
That probably I haven't actually watched that. I should go back and pull up the footage. But I imagine that
he's got good footwork, man. Like, I did not expect it.
Why? He's a footy player. Why wouldn't he have good footwork?
Well, I get it, but he was a defender. He wasn't a striker or anything like that.
Still, I mean, you gotta have something. But yeah, I mean, he's a good dancer. From that cultural boy, he said he'd rather be doing the work he originally pushed off than watch the game. Yeah, he's watching us. So how much work are you actually getting done?
I know.
He already pushed out 2 videos in the time I've done one. So I got nothing to say there.
All right, and then this other one is, this one has a couple from Juve Tath. He said, I would rather watch, instead of Allegri ball, imagining Allegri taking a one-way trip to the moon. Then he replies with, I'd rather stub my toe on the corner of my bed for the 47th time. And then finally, his last one is, watching whatever reality TV garbage my girlfriend likes to torture me with.
And I love that because that's the most relatable, at least to me. Because, oh man, some of that stuff. And I like this one from Sono Juventino, swimming in the Ganges with an open wound. I imagine that. I mean, yeah, that's not bad either.
All right, this one had me in tears. So Frankie, it's Frankie G6283. I'd rather watch my kids hug my wife's new boyfriend than Allegri ball.
I love that.
That was hilarious.
YouTube videos of dermatologists taking care of huge cysts, and that is a format on YouTube, unfortunately. But
that is a thing. That is actually a thing. Don't ever go into the deep corners of YouTube, everybody. that exists.
But I mean, some of these are good, but they're not. There's something I would actually, I think, rather do day to day, like watching Nona make gnocchi. I mean, I love to watch her make gnocchi.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm like, nothing beats Nona's gnocchi. Like, that is like god tier stuff right there.
Yeah. Well, and Walker, Texas Ranger. I mean,
oh, come on, Chuck Norris. You guys can't be coming at. I'd watch out whoever posted that because Chuck Norris knows where you sleep. So
yeah, he's gonna roundhouse kick you right out of this chat.
He's just kick you and then just roadhouse.
Watching Dybala play for Inter. Simeone playing Witzel at center back.
Hey, speaking of Simeone, have you guys seen what kind of jungle juice he gave to Morata? Like, Morata's doing like these crazy moves, drops a hat trick against us in a training match, and then like, I wish I had the clip, but like he does this clip where he does this spin move where like someone crosses the ball, he hits it off his butt and then volleys it off of his butt at the, like it almost goes in. I'm like sitting there, I'm like, where was that?
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. That was hard. It was good to see, but it was also hard to watch that one game. But yeah, we'll cut it there because honestly, how many? There was like 37 replies or something to that one. So
yeah,
we're not going to go through all of them. They are good. I mean, just go at Juve Podcast, check it out. That's our boy Farhad. And I mean, check out his podcast as well. I'll be honest, man. It's an honor to be under the Turn Giants banner now. He is the first like media that was out there, YouTube, podcast, what have you. He was the first Juventus thing that I ever came across. And here I am now. I started listening to him, and now I'm doing the videos. Great guy. I pulled up some of the merch. Please check that out as well. So check out the pod, like and subscribe on the video as well. I got to start pushing that because, I mean, that's my job. Like and subscribe. Otherwise, Dash, yeah, we're just at the hour mark. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Nope. Just hope everybody doesn't turn alcoholism after yesterday's game. So again, guys, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Put down the bottle.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, guys, have fun. We are the fans. We wanna celebrate this team, even through the hard times. I know it's tough. And yesterday was a little tough, but I mean, we're here, we're still joking, we're still having a good time. So thanks for being fans of Juventus, thanks for being fans of Turin Giants, and all our athletes out there. Check out that Cultural Boy, Just Juve, all the creators out there. Great community. So thanks again, and yeah, have a good night, and we'll see you soon.